Hey everyone! Alright, so today I'm going to take you through how I design a How I design a workflow process in 17 Hats. If you don't have 17 Hats, this process can still work in other systems, even if it's just something that you're creating for like canned emails or if you're just making questionnaires. This same idea still applies. I'm just showing you specifically in 17 Hats because that's the system that I use, and I highly recommend it. If you are a consultant or like a photographer or an event planner or anyone who doesn't really work with a team but works with a lot of clients, 17 Hats is such a good program for things like that. I know quite a few people who use it. I think originally how I found it was from Lauren Hooker at Ellen Company Designs. I know that she uses it as well, and she wrote a whole blog post about it. So it's a really great system, and I have a whole post about it. So if you want to look more into that, I'll put a link down below for you. But for now, I'm just going to show you how I build a workflow. So let's open my page really quickly. So this is the kind of workflow outline that I've created. You can get a copy of this if you click on the button down below. Basically, you just want to fill this out with your process. When you download it, my process will already be in here, so you can kind of use it as a template and just make little changes. Or you can clear out this entire thing if you don't need any of it and just start creating your own. Okay, so over here I have each step in the process with a little description on what that step entails. I have what each step will be waiting on. So if it's me or the client that needs to respond. I have what kind of document, I guess it is. So if you're doing a canned email, if it's an actual meeting, if you're sending them files, things like that. I have the timeline for the project, and I'll show you why this is important in just a few minutes. And then I have anything that needs to be included, so that way I don't forget to add some details in. All right, so let's switch to 17 Hats. This is what my dashboard looks like right now. I have a bunch of projects going on, so it has quite a few things happening. But basically, all we need to focus on is workflows, and up here on my account, in account settings. Now, I did some prep work for this just to make this video a little quicker, so let me show you basically what we're going to do. The very first step in my process is for the client to get in touch with me, either via email or via a contact form on my website. So what I did first was create a lead form. So if you have 17 Hats, you can click on leads, and it's called lead capture. If you click on lead capture, you can have different forms built to capture your client's information. So I made a lead capture form for my process design. So I have their name, email address, a couple other questions relating to the design process. And then up here, you can install the form. You can add it to your Facebook page. You can get the HTML for a pop-up. You can just insert your form directly onto your website, or you can just send your clients a link if you don't want to get too technical with it. You can also view it. So if you've never seen 17 Hats before, it's a gorgeous design. So if it will load, there we go. It's just super simple, super clean. This is what my form looks like. I have my logo on there. It has my branding, and they can easily fill it out and then just send it off to me. Okay, so I already created the lead capture form, but that's definitely the first step in your process, is to get your client's information. The nice thing with these capture forms is you can also map where this information goes to. So for example, the name field will map to lead name. So when I look at a contact that I have in here, let's see, I don't want to show you like actual people's contacts. I think I have a sample contact in here with my name on it. And of course I don't. Okay, so no matter. Oh, here, I'll show you guys Kaylee's because I know Kaylee won't. Oh, there I am. It's under me. Okay, so when one of your clients fills out a contact form, it will auto-fill some of their information. So you'll see their name falls under the name category. So let's go in here. When they type in their email, you can map it to the email tag. Under notes, if you want a certain answer in your notes section, you can map it there. So you can fill out all of this automatically, and it will already be saved into your lead contact form, and you don't have to enter any information that you don't need. Okay, so once you have your lead contact form, the next step would be to prepare any documents. So if you go to My Account and Account Settings, you have a bunch of choices on the side. We're just going to go into My Templates. So let me switch back to Google Docs really quickly. I have a couple of steps in here. So after I get the person's information, I ask them to schedule a meeting. And I ask them this via a canned email. So it's an email I've already written. All I have to do is enter some of their personal data just to make it, personalized, not just a blank email. But I need to create this email. So in 17 Hats, you can create an email template, which is a canned email. So you want to go over here to New Template and click on Email. Now I've already made all of the emails, the quotes, contracts, invoices, and the questionnaires for this entire workflow just to save some time. But if you need to add any template at all, this is where you would do it. All right, so let's jump into actually building the workflow. So you want to click down here on Workflows and go into Templates. And we're going to click on this plus symbol right here to start a new workflow. I'm going to name it Process Design and assign it to my default calendar and click Save. And now we can build the actual steps to create this workflow. So the first thing that will happen is someone gets in contact with me, and then I'll look at their contact form, decide if they're a good match, and if they are, I will send them a link to schedule a meeting with me. So this is the very first step. So I'm going to go to Add. We're going to add an action because we're sending them something. And I want to send an email. I'm going to use my process design template that I have built. Now I'm going to, instead of approving it before sending, you can also send it automatically, which is what I'm going to do. Because after I've read their questionnaire that they fill out, I'm going to activate this workflow. And what that will do is immediately send this email out. So after I activate this workflow, this email will send. I'm going to hit Save, and that is added. So now the next step in here is that once they create the meeting, I need to send them a reminder. So first I'm going to send them an email with their meeting information. So I'm going to add a new email, a new action. We're going to send them an email, and it's going to be the meeting link. This has all of their meeting link, how to join the meeting, all of that information in there. I will send it actually no, I'm going to approve this before sending. Yeah, I think that'll work. So I'll approve this before sending. So that means once they've scheduled a meeting, all I have to do is come into 17 Hats, click on Review. There'll be a little review button here, and then click Send Email, and it will just automatically send it to them. Okay, so the next step is to remind them a few minutes before the meeting where the meeting is, in case they lost their other email. So I'm going to add another action, and this is going to be the meeting reminder email. And again, I'm going to approve this before sending because you can't schedule it down to the hours, and I don't know when the meeting will be. So all I'll have to do is go in here and send this 30 minutes before the meeting. Also, if you need to make any personal changes to the email before you send it, you always want to choose to approve before sending, because at that point you'll be able to edit the email and then send it. Okay, so next after the meeting, I'm going to be sending them a quote, and this quote will give them a couple different price points that they can choose from. Right after they approve the quote, they'll be sent to my contract that they can sign, and then right after they sign the contract, they'll be able to pay the invoice. So in 17 Hats, when you add the template for a quote, you can choose to include a contract and an invoice right away. So if you want to be able to send all three at once, create a template under the quotes. So I'm going to add an action. Actually, before that, a lot of times I take notes during our client meetings. So I want to be able to send my client the meeting notes. And this will be due, 0 days after the previous item is complete, because the same day I send them the reminder email for the meeting will be the same day we have the meeting, will be the same them the notes. When done, we're going to, that's perfect. Okay, so now we'll add the estimate. So under action, I'm going to send a quote. I'm going to choose process design. I've already made this template. And then I need to choose an email. And I have not created an email for this yet. We'll just use this default one. You have received a quote. This is a default one that 17 Hats has. And all it says is you have received a quote. Please review it before the due date. It's super simple, super easy. Okay, so I'm going to approve this before sending because different projects require different price points. So I'm going to have to edit my quote before sending it. I'm going to hit save. So the next step in the process is to set up a client portal. This is something that I set up in Squarespace for my clients. So this is just going to be a to-do item, so that way I don't forget to do it. Oh, if I can spell. Okay. Set up a client portal, and then I also need to email my client their password to the portal. And I could set up another email for this, and I probably will, but I'm not going to do that on video just because it will take a moment. Okay, next is the process outline. So after we have our meeting, I develop an outline based on our, that will basically be a plan for the project and give them kind of a timeline for what we're going to be working on. I'm going to send an email to them with that outline attached. I did not create this email yet, so I'm just going to add a to-do item in place of it. And that's what's really nice, is if you don't have time to create all these emails right away, you can just set up a to-do list. That way that you at least won't forget to do these tasks. And then once you have a few minutes during the day, you can start adding canned emails in place of these tasks. All right, so next up is me one day up to a month-long process. So all I do is add a, oh, I clicked on the wrong thing, is add a, what this will do is workflow until I completed the way. I'm not getting notifications and like reminders of tasks after until I'm done with the work. So the next step is to wrap up. Send the client any like final meeting note that needs to be changed. We'll kind of chat via email, make sure that everything looks good. And then I'll be sending them all of the tutorials and guides that they need along with the client. So I'm going to add another to-do item. Send the final work. And then I'm going to also send them an email. And this will be, oh, just kidding. I'm going to send them a and this will be for testimonials. But it also gives me some insight on what the client and if they enjoyed working with me. Okay, and then the very last step is 2 weeks after the project is done. I just make sure everything is going smoothly, make sure there's no problems that need to be addressed, and make sure that they're actually final products. So I'm going to add one more to-do item. And it's going to be due 14 days after the previous item is complete. And then the very last thing I'm going to add is a to-do item to archive this project. So that way I don't have active projects sitting in here that are complete. And we'll do it one day after the previous item. So that way I can make sure everything is good and clear before archiving. Okay, so once that is all done, we can just go back to our workflows and you'll see it's been added and it has 13 workflow items in it. So what I'll do really quickly is I'll show you in my test system how this works. Let's say this is my client and I wanted to start work with them. All you have to do is go into, they'll be under leads, go into their form and click on new project. Name it whatever you'd like to name it. We'll just name it example. This is the date and time that you're going to start the project. Let's say we're starting this on the 24th. And then over here, you'll be able to activate a workflow. You can also add new steps individually, so you don't have to add things to the workflow if the actual project has stuff in there. But we're just going to activate the workflow for this one. We'll choose process design. You'll choose a base date, so there should be the project start date, and click. And what that will do is show you the workflow that you see through here. So right away, it sent an email to me to do a meeting. So if I pulled up my email right now, there would be, let's see, let's pull up my email so I can show you guys. There should be an email in here from 17 Hats. It probably will take a while to come through because I'm forwarding that email into here. But there would be an email from 17 Hats letting me know that I need to schedule a meeting. And then at this point, I can click on this review button on the next step, and I'll be able to see my email that I already have typed out, and I can make any changes that I need to, attach any files, and once I'm ready, I can click on send, and this email will be sent to my clients. And then this will become checked off. And as you go through, you can check off the boxes. If you need to delete or edit any task, you can. You can also rearrange the tasks within here, and it won't mess up your workflow template. This is only for this project. If you need to change the actual template, you need to go back into workflow and click on the template. For any reason you are in the middle of a project and someone bails or they cancel, all you have to do is click up here on edit and click delete this workflow. It cannot be undone, so make sure you don't do this by accident. But once you're done, you can click on delete and it will completely erase that project. So if I go back into my contact just to show you what that looks like now, you can see that there is still a project in here and it shows you what has already been done, but that workflow is no longer activated. So at this point, what I would do is click on edit and archive the project. Back and look through the project, but it's not sitting here in my projects tab. It's already archived in this tab here. All right, let's see if that email came through really quickly, and it still hasn't. My email's so slow. Let's see, I'll pull up this contract from my friend Kaylee though, just to show you what these emails kind of look like. So when you have your client sign something or send you something, it shows the 17 Hats logo, it tells you a little bit about the project, and then it gives you a button to view those documents. It also tells you what is needed from you. So for example, on this contract, I still need to countersign it. You can also see on the quote that I sent her, it tells you when it was accepted, what the project is, and who the client was, and you can review that quote at any time. You can also print or save that quote from that page. All right, let's switch back here, you guys. Oh my goodness, I think I just realized you guys could not even see the emails that I was just showing you. Oh my goodness, I do that all the time. Let's switch back super quick. Sorry about that, everyone. Super quick, here's what those emails look like. So you have kind of the details and then the button for the project and 17 hats up here. Sorry, you guys, I always forget that I'm not choosing to show you my whole window. I'm only showing you part of it. Alright, so that is how I set up workflows in 17 hats. That's how I do it for clients. The easiest way to do a workflow like that is to just plan it out beforehand, and then you can literally copy and paste things in. So if you already have canned emails created, put them into Google Docs or something, and then just copy them into 17 hats. Creating a workflow like that that's automated or only needs a couple clicks from you makes projects go so much faster. It keeps you from skipping steps or missing things, and it's so much easier for your client to actually get what they need and not be waiting on you to figure out what the next step is. So if you guys have any questions about this at all, just comment down below. Other than that, that is all for now. Thanks for watching, you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.